Can y'all hear me? No drums. No drums. Give me a sec. Where's the camera? We'll hit it with the drums in just a few minutes, but I have a few things I gotta get off my chest. Give me 1 second. Akash Panda, put the drums for about 5 minutes from now. Just give me a sec. Where's the camera? Is the camera? All right. Like I said, if you're here for the One Piece chapter, just come back in like 5 minutes. Because I'm pissed off right now, and I'm an emotional brother. And I can't hide when I'm pissed. And so, I'm going to say this once, and we're going to leave it at that. We're going to take control of the situation, we're going to reel it back in. Mano a mano. Alright? Mano a mano. Muddy. Muddy, my good brother. I've told you week in and week out to please send the messages privately. Send the messages into a place where this is a personal matter, because that's what it is, a personal matter. My YouTube One Piece chapter reactions is not the space for this. It is not the time and place for this. There is a time and place for everything, my brother. And this ain't it, man. This is not it. When I am waiting the entire week to sit down and read my series, my time, the time that I have to carve out for myself, I can't even read the chapters when they drop anymore. This is my time to be here with my community, man. You gotta give me my time, brother. You gotta give it to me, man. I understand your passion and I 100% resonate with it. But if I ever walk into a stream again and see what I saw when I walked in today, there is gonna be some hell to pay, man. Oh, man. Oh, flippin' man. So please, 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 when it comes to that, just leave it in the DMs, man. It's not the time and place. It is not the time and place. Alright? Like I said, I appreciate the passion and I 100% resonate with it. But it ain't the time and place, brother. I'll be back. We're gonna read some One Piece when I return for some peak. Just give me a little bit. Doon 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 doon. Peak fiction. Doon 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 doon. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today. We are here today. Coming off of what was one of the most hype endings in recent memory. In an arc filled with hype endings in recent memory. To see what is gonna go down. And I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what is popping off here today, man. Where is the camera? I just had it on. On the most serious of notes, once again, I don't want anyone in here to badmouth and or say anything badly about the individual that we just addressed in My Guy B Muddy. Good dude. Good dude, man. Extremely passionate. It's just this is not the time and place for that type of conversation. I'm gonna take some time to read some supers after we read the chapter, and then we'll get into that. Muddy, I greatly apologize if any of that was offensive in any matter, as well as anybody who potentially was not expecting something like that within a One Piece chapter. I just really needed to address that. We needed to reel things in to get back to what we're here to do, which is to read the greatness. You know what I'm saying? And discuss what we love to do and what we love to read here. So, but no one say anything bad about my guy, man. He's still one of us. He's still a member of our community. So I don't want anybody to badmouth him. I just really needed to set that boundary and 100% ensure that what we're doing here is what we've come here to do, which is read these chapters. And so I hope everybody's having a wonderful week, man. This week was honestly really, really insane. I didn't get my steel ball run, unfortunately, but what I did get was one of my favorite JJK episodes of the season in a phenomenal end to our beloved JJK Season 3. That was absolutely spectacular. As well as the ending of a couple others that I'm currently not on top of, unfortunately, but I think I heard Fire Force ended this week, which is, I'm looking forward to catching up to that once again. And then, of course, the new season starts next week, and with that comes the return of our beloved best-selling manga in history's anime adaptation, which is going to be absolutely insane. And so I'm just really, really grateful that we have gotten back to this point where we can sit down and react to not just the One Piece anime once more, but potentially have some more JoJo back in my life, man. And so we shall see. And we're popping off with some memberships. Sweet mother of Flagnards, man. So we've got the God Hand of Finance coming up in like swimwear and delivering 20 gifted memberships to the channel. Holy sweet mother of Flagnards, man. All love to the God Hand of Finance. The Gorosei coming up in, man. So I truly, truly appreciate my guy, Ali G, as always. The God Hand of Finance for coming up in like swimwear. As well as JD Double Dubs, who comes in with 20 gifted memberships as well. Dang! Y'all are coming in, man! Y'all are coming in today! So, holy Flagnards, man. 40 gifteds right off the bat, so I can expect that we're probably going to get some greatness today. That's normally how it goes when we've got this many gifted memberships to start off these chapter reactions. And so, absolute insanity. Absolute insanity on behalf of JD Double Dubs and the Godhead of Finance. I truly, truly appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much for doing so. That really means a lot. That really, really means a lot, man. Especially coming off of a last week where we had to unfortunately change up the schedule for 1 week. Both fortunately and unfortunately. Fortunately, because I was finally able to read a chapter when it dropped, but unfortunately because a lot of individuals that normally are able to join in the reactions. We're not able to get in on the last one, and so it definitely was unfortunate. But I truly do appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much for the love and support as always. Let me go ahead and go through these here. So once again, I'm gonna address my boy Muddy's supers at the end of the stream, or I'm sorry, at the end of the after we do the chapter, because there is quite a lot there. Straw Hat Monty comes in and joins the Kingdom of Awesome Sauce. All love to Straw Hat Monty. Thank you so much for that. My boy Josh, man, my guy, comes in with a 10 and says this is a Miami LeBron type of chapter, dog. Now, I think I need to put this into context, all right? Myself and Josh are huge LeBron fans. And we were both here within the confines of this wonderful state, sometimes, when Big Bron was a member of the Miami Heat. So that time period is extremely special to both of us. Very special to both of us. So for him to say this is a Miami LeBron type of chapter, that signifies for me like triple Jordan jersey, Santa hat type level, you know what I'm saying? And so I suppose we shall see what is going to go on here. But I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited, especially coming off of the last chapter, which was absolutely insane. All love to you, Josh, man. Thank you so much for that. And then JD Double Dubs comes with the 2 and says Pokemon Doubles format. They are, the Pokemon Champions is going to have, I don't know why this is the first thing that popped up whenever you brought this up. But Pokemon Champions is going to have a doubles format, right? On thing, it's going to have both singles and doubles, if I'm not mistaken. That game's going to be awesome, man. I'm still hooked on Pokopia. I still haven't gotten off that. But it most certainly is something that is extremely special. And so I can't wait for Pokemon Champions. But like I said, I'm still hooked on Pokopia, both fortunately and unfortunately. And so let me go ahead here. Now that we're caught up to the supers, once again I'm gonna Muddy, I got you after the reaction, and then let me see here. Let me go ahead. Oh, you were alluding to something in the chapter? Oh, God. Oh, God. Let me see. That means that we're going to be in for some real greatness then. Oh. Especially when we got Loki and Luffy on... Come on, man. Alright. Let's get into some greatness here. Let me go ahead. Put me in, coach. We got Tatum back. We're going for the chip. Listen, I have a buddy who is a huge Celtics fan. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told him. I genuinely think with Tatum back that you guys have the best chance, that you guys and the Knicks have the best chance coming out the East for sure. The Knicks have gotten really strong after they got Alvarado, especially coming when he's coming on in that secondary. But boy, adding Tatum, and he's going to continue to get minutes as we head into postseason time, and Jaylen Brown has been cooking the entire season, and the rest of that team is just cooking too. I'm telling you, the Celtics, they can go a long way. They can go a long way. I don't have them to win the chip. I don't have anybody from the East winning the chip this year personally. I think the West there's so many strong teams coming out the West right now, but you never know. Let me put a poll right here. Are we reading the title? You're a LeBron fan? You've been really quiet about it? I mean, it's not like I'm like a super LeBron fan. I love me some Bron. You know, that's my guy. It's just one of those things. I most certainly appreciate his game, and You know, I've been fortunate enough to follow his journey ever since the beginning until now, and that's just my boy, man. That's my boy. But exciting stuff. I'm not on JD or who else is a huge LeBron fan in our community. I'm not on Jay's level, that's for sure. We've actually had a conversation about that in the past, and I'm not on his level, but I do appreciate my boy's game, for sure. For sure. Hey, all power to you, Fertile Baggage, man. If you think that you're winning the chip this year, you most certainly have a chance. Absolutely, maybe PHX. Yeah, man. It's great to see everybody. Like I said, it's coming off of last week's chapter where, unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to be able to have it in our regular time slot. It's good. I just noticed True Roofers is in the chat. True Roofers was the one that delivered the Celtics message. That's how I know this chapter is going to be peak fiction. We got True Roofers in the chat. Vladnards, man. Rubber Jug comes in and says, I'm actually able to catch a stream because I'm in Japan right now. Listen. Number one, that is so cool. Dude, how is it over there in Japan, dude? Talk to me about what places you're visiting, how things have been. That's so sick, bro. How long are you over there, by the way? That's flipping awesome. And it's cool. So that means that when I normally stream, it's good for, because I know we obviously have a few individuals who watch us from Japan. So I guess the streaming time does work. 100%, Jerry Double Dubs. 100%. Vortex! Yo, Vortex, man. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna be petty. What I will say, though, Vortex, as a fan of the rival team, is when I heard the news about Salah, it was one of those moments where, you know, whenever you have like that burning hatred for a rival team, but you respect their players. That's how I felt in that moment, man. I truly hope for nothing but the best. What a great player. What a fantastic player is Mohamed Salah. So, I wish him nothing but the best. I'm not even the furthest thing away from a fan of that team. But like I said, as a fan of the rival team, or one of the rival teams, I'm just really appreciative of his game and for everything that he brought to the league. And so wherever he ends up going, hope for nothing but the best. We pretty much knew it was coming, but to see it actually official is going to feel so strange, because it's going to feel weird not having him in that shirt. It's like whenever Messi left Barcelona. It's like I can't picture him anything else but that, you know. So it's definitely going to be a strange thing. But I'm going to assume you guys want that rebuilding stage now, especially coming off of what's been this season so far. So yeah, legend, man, absolute legend. But Salah's being replaced by Luffy, Loki, and Emu. That may be true. That may be true. The story at the Tokyo Pokemon Center really broke my heart. I don't know what you're talking about, Quack 2. Inform me on the lore as we continue through this stream. Inform me on the lore. I'm genuinely curious. Genuinely curious. My second day, been here 2 weeks, 1 week in Tokyo, 1 week in Kyoto. It's been so awesome, the food is unbelievable, the amount of anime and manga merch around is just insane. So, that sounds like the best possible trip, because you're going to have like the best of both worlds. That's super, super cool. The food is unbelievable. And I can't even imagine just how much, because obviously it's everywhere. Or not everywhere, but pretty much almost everywhere. So, man, dude, that must be super cool. One day we'll make that trip. But man, that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome, Rubber Jug. Absolutely awesome. I gotta ask Rugger Jug. While you've been going through Tokyo, have you seen anything, any like interesting, like pieces of like some merch, where like a Japanese exclusive thing? Like I know sometimes I'll see some videos of individuals who are all collecting like Japanese exclusive like Pokemon games or not games, but like the box sets and stuff. So have you seen anything interesting on that end? Yo, Mist, man, I started reading Ravages of Time again. I will give you an update soon, but I have started reading it again, as peak as ever. Speak! My guy, Nyo! It is good to see you, brother. Hopefully we get some more stupid runs soon. Razzie Boy comes in with a 30 and says, it's 4 a.m. for me, I always sleep late because of the King of Goats reaction. Well, I appreciate you, Razzie Boy, man. Thank you so much for that. But, mother of Flagnars, man, either A, get some sleep, or B, well, I'll try to get to the chapters as quickly as possible so that you can get some sleep. But I appreciate you, Razzie Boy, for joining us even in pancake hours. So I appreciate you. Awesome. It's fun, Recon going to Japan. Akash fan, I love the emojis. I love how the eyes represent Emu. And the squirrel. The squirrel is killing me. Flippin' Ragnar, man. If I ever go to Japan, I'm going on the Stride Statue Pilgrimage in Kumamoto. Oh yeah, that is in Kumamoto. Yeah, I would definitely want to go to something like that. I really would. Book of Eli comes with a 5 and says, you ain't ready for the chapter, coach. Also just caught up with the Trail's greatness. Talk to me about that, bro. Talk to me about that, man. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, definitely talk to me about that. This chapter was exactly what I needed. Big ups for getting me back into it. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But man, that is awesome. Bro, what did you think about Trails Beyond the Horizon, bro? You gotta let me know. I've been playing Ace Attorney 3 today. The case of the spiritual training grounds is really crazy so far. Bro, wait, by Ace Attorney 3, you're talking about, what's the name of it? Trials and Tribulations? That's what, is that, that's, I've only played the first 3, and that is one of my favorite, like, games, just period. That's in my top 25. Like, if I were to make a top 25 games right now, that's in the top 25. That's that third Ace Attorney disc, or not disc, but, you know, the third part of that original trilogy. That's the farthest I've gone. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, that case is peak, dude. I went into some game stores that have some old consoles, N64, PS1, GameCube, some MGS games, all FF games, so many more you probably know. So, that sounds flipping awesome, man. You know, the Final Fantasy Japanese exclusive box art has always been super cool to me. Let's go, bro. I'm almost done with Xenogears 2, probably finishing it today. It's absolute peak. We love to see it, Miss, man. We love to see it. I'm glad that you enjoyed Xenogears. And you're coming at it after experiencing Trails. So, the way I experienced it was, my god, Trails got so much inspiration from Xenogears, especially the Cold Steel Saga. Like, seriously, it like changed my entire perspective on the series. Oh, that's awesome, Speak. Ocean Plan, same. Honestly, same. Razzie Boy comes in with 30, says, sleeping is not an issue. I got myself a hot coffee with milk foam and a nice new pack of Marlboro Gold, just waiting to be smoked this live stream. Well, at 4 a.m. How lovely. How lovely. Listen, man. It sounds like there is no better thing than experiencing that One Piece greatness. At 4 a.m., we'll go in with some hot coffee, milk foam, and some Marlboro Gold. I never thought I'd read a super chat like that, but here we are. That is awesome, Razzie Boy. Definitely enjoy it. Man. Bro, we both need that next one ASAP, what could be like. ASAP. You're gonna love this chapter, brother. Can't wait. Talk about this. I could talk about Horizon for... I feel you, dude. I feel you, man. I feel you. Alright, y'all. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Apparently, we can read the title. So, let's go and see. All right, back at you, Lexogram, man. It's also good to see you, brother. So once again, before we get into it, I apologize for the outburst at the beginning of the stream. It most certainly was unprofessional, but it was something that I really needed to do in order to set a clear boundary. And I apologize once again to my boy Muddy. If anything happened, like I said, I'll personally reach out after the stream. But it was just something that needed to be addressed, especially when regarding the One Piece chapter reactions. And so I apologize. I'll tell the Kosh Panda to just put the drums for later on, so that way no one has to get into that. I hate and I steer as far away from stuff like this as possible, because this is my time to relax. This is our time as a community time to relax. So I hate to divulge into other things, and so just like I said, don't hold anything against the brother. He's still a member of our community. Will always be welcome and within my space, but we just need to tone it down when it comes to the supers during the One Piece chapter reactions in regards to personal matters like that, man. And so just needed to put that out there. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be here today to discuss some greatness, to read some greatness, coming off of what undoubtedly was one of the hypest chapter-ending cliffhangers in an arc filled with hype chapter-ending cliffhangers. You know what I'm saying? So, like I was talking to my cousin Adrian about when I was on the drive home on Friday, and we had to talk about the chapter. You know, that was like my afterthoughts. Was talking to my cousin about the chapter, and during that conversation, it sort of like lit a light bulb in my head of like all of the different amount of possibilities that we can get from this potential interaction between Emu, Luffy, and Loki. And so I am so excited to see, obviously, if we get any more of it, because we know Oda, you know what I'm saying? So I have no idea if this week's going to be another switch to something else week, or if we are going to get some more of the Luffy, Loki, and Emu greatness. Luckily, as I am so grateful for the timeline on every single thing that I have attempted to get into for the past 2 weeks has been filled with nothing but JJK or Stu Ball Run. And so even without the get off social media things, I would have been fine. Of course, we took our everything as we do our precautions and whatnot. But even if I wouldn't have, like I said, the JJK and Stu Ball Run is literally everywhere, as it should be. And so it would have been impossible to get spoiled either way. But I really do appreciate Big Bweezy and everybody else who was looking out for your boy and told me to get off social media for this chapter. So I can't wait, man. And without further ado, let's get into the awesome sauce. We are here today to read the latest installment in that Elbaf greatness, man. We started this off back in chapter 1125, and we are now sitting here today with the anime on the horizon, mind you. I believe Akash Panda told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Akash Panda, we are going to either get a hint and or a teaser of the new opening on this weekend. So that's going to be some super exciting stuff. I don't know if it'll be visual or just audio, but either way, that'll be some really exciting stuff for the individuals who will experience that. Excuse me, if they drop the full opening, we're reacting to it. But until they drop the full opening, I'm definitely not going to check that out. I want to keep the reaction as spoiler-free as possible. But either way, that is how close we are to Elbaf the One Piece anime returning. One Piece Season 2, technically. Returning with next week. I believe it's next Sunday. So it should be a good time, man. Super excited to have the anime back. But it's going to be covering the content that we've had here since chapter 1125, man. And I can't wait for it. I know y'all can't wait for it, man, because this arc has been crazy. From the moment that we got here to the Shanks and Shamrock and Insanity Gunko, and then the mural, and then we have the craziness of the Holy Knights invading, and the nightmares, and Rania. Gotta give a shout out to Rania, and then Emu showing up, and then the flipping flashback that's out of this world peak to coming back into the present time and continuing on the greatness. And we got some Usopp awesome sauce last week, and now we are here this week to hopefully get some more from my beloved gigs. It is like Roof Piece again, man, where it's like it's this arc's version of Roof Piece, of having Luffy and Loki, bro, against Emu. You remember how hype we were for Kaido? And it was like, man, it's like that all over again. And so I can't wait for this chapter. I need to see it. It's been 800 years in the making. The rematch of legend. Give it to me now. For the best-selling manga in history and the best-selling comic of all time. We are here today to read what is now and maybe forever will be the one, the only one. You know, I still need to watch those last, 4 episodes of the live action, man. Because like I said, I was supposed to last week, but they dropped Steel Ball Run. And then we read the chapter. And then I didn't have another opportunity to do so. But they didn't drop Steel Ball Run this week. So we might have a chance to watch the last forms live action. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Peace! Yo, I just remembered while I was saying that. Akane Banashi, ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for an... I gotta hype it up any chance I get. But in this new anime season, obviously there's going to be a lot of returning favorites. How to Be Reincarnated as a Slime is coming back. I know a lot of my friends really love that one. ReZero, one that I really enjoy, is coming back next season. For the Rent-A-Girlfriend fans, that's coming back next season. Shout out to that series. It literally, the term, it was the best of times and the worst of times. I know, a lot of returning series. But if I could give a huge shout out to a story that I absolutely love, my favorite ongoing Shonen Jump series outside of One Piece, it is Akane Banashi, man. That is my love. Y'all know how much I adore that series. I don't know how the anime adaptation is going to be, but it is going to be dropping in this season. If you are looking for something to watch and you enjoyed the Rakugo anime that came out, I don't remember when it dropped, but I first watched it last year. But the Rakugo anime from whenever the Flying Flounders that was, if you enjoyed that anime, or you enjoy, honestly, even if you have never watched Rakugo, let me sell you on Akane Banashi before we get into this One Piece chapter. Akane Banashi is if you took the creative process of what it means to create stories, and you made a shonen battle manga out of it. So just imagine all the different perspectives, all the different ideas. It's like you being able to see like Oda, Kishimoto, Kubo, all attempting to reach the top of the game, and you're following their journeys as they're coming into their own as storytellers. Obviously, they're not writing manga, but they're performing these tales and these pieces of Rakugo, and it is an unbelievably immersive series. It is so inspirational for me. It is the most inspirational series that I have read since Haikyuu, from that magazine, like I said, outside of One Piece. And so it's a story that really means a lot to me. So if you're looking for a new anime to watch next season, like I said, I don't know how the anime adaptation is going to be, but if it's anything like the manga, it's really, really special stuff. It is my beloved Akane Banashi, man. And so now that JJK's coming to a close, obviously a series so near and dear to my heart, I need to fill that hole with something. Thankfully, Akane Banashi's going to be here, because God knows when Steel Ball Run's coming back. Flipping flaggers. How do you release the most anticipated JoJo part ever? Pull out an episode that was great, mind you. They obviously told some things out of order, and they skipped out on some stuff, but for all intents and purposes, I flippin' love that episode. I watched it like 3 times. It was awesome. What they nailed, they've really nailed, and so I can't wait for more. No more. Not even a schedule. Apparently the stream is happening either right now or later on tonight. Brother, just let us know when episode 2 is dropping. That's all we need to know, man. Especially when DJK just ended. I need something to fill it. Fill the hole. So, we'll be there for that. We'll be there for that. But, let me go ahead and... go right here. 4 OPLA episodes and 2 anime episodes for April 5th. April 5th, is that next Sunday? Let me see. April 5th is Sunday. So, oh, God. Well, I'm going to have to prioritize the anime. So, now that you tell me that, I'm going to prioritize the anime. So, we'll do the anime first. Live action, we got time. Alabasta's not dropping until next year. So, we got time. We got a lot of time. But I got to catch up to the anime. So, we'll do anime first. We'll do the anime first. We'll definitely do the anime first. I need to read Ichi the Witch. I've heard a lot of good things about that. Yeah, agreed. Komori Bikun. Which, by the way, shout out to Akane in the profile picture. Yeah, the manga art is so incredible. Especially, it feels like it only gets better, especially from a presentation standpoint. I was interested in Akane Banashi when it was first published in Jump, but unfortunately never got around to it. I'm definitely using the anime debut as proper reintroductions to this series. Let me know what you feel about it, Quack 2. I'm definitely open to hearing all different types of opinions about Akane Banashi, because it really is a special story. Really, really special story. Let's see. Muddy, man, so glad that you took another opportunity to super, especially after that tirade. Really, really, really do apologize on my behalf for... Wait, I'm muted? Horrible time to be muted. Can y'all hear me? I think I'm here. But Muddy, no need to apologize. I apologize. Like I said, I apologize for that outburst. Like I said, you're always welcome here on the channel, brother. It was just like I said. You know, we already discussed it earlier. But I greatly do apologize for the outburst. I'm not muted. Perfect. Muddy says, sorry, that was over 14 months of sending you freighted messages, pent up stress. They're done now. Read supers when you're free. My YouTube channel is up anytime you want to meet. Feel free after I sent you this week's supers. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate you, Muddy. Thank you so much for the civil super, especially after earlier. So like I said, I will most certainly read those supers after we get done with the chapter and we start wrapping up the stream. But no worries, man. I understand. Like I said, I get the passion. I understand. It just wasn't the right time. But I get it. You just had to get all that stuff out there. I completely understand. And so, now that we've come to this mutual understanding, I got you, you got me. All things are good, man. All things are good. Now, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking the time to super. And like I said, I'll get to the other supers whenever we wrap things up, Muddy. Definitely do appreciate you, man. And shout out to your YouTube channel, by the way. I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. Shout out to Muddy120's YouTube channel, man. If anybody wants to check out Muddy's YouTube channel. Let me see. I'm starting from Game of Thrones, journey from book and show. So wait, Vortex, I gotta know which one are you doing first though? Because we love both around these parts. We love both around these parts. That is the one series that connects my entire friend group. So we're all tards around here for every piece of Game of Thrones media. So oh my god, I almost dropped my thing. So, well, that and Dragon Ball, I would say. I think Game of Thrones and Dragon Ball connects everyone. And Pokemon. And Yu-Gi-Oh! But I would say definitely Game of Thrones as well. Did you hear about the other news? Sriracha series coming to Jump? Yes! Time Lord! Thank you for bringing it up. Bro, my beloved Hideaki Sriracha. We'll get to the One Piece chapter here in a second. I just have to get this off my chest. Yo, Hideaki Sriracha, my beloved creator of Gintama, coming back with another manga. We were just talking about him getting an anime for one of his one-shots, or one of his other manga. And I was like, oh man, another Sriracha series, let's go. This dude's actually coming back. Chainsaw Man ended this week. Shout out Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man ended this week, and Sriracha comes back. And he's like, let's fucking go. Alright. Because obviously I read Chainsaw Man every week, so I needed something to fill in that hole. Sriracha's back. And we know Hideaki Sriracha. He doesn't give a flying flag nerds, and that's what I love about him. And so, I've been in a Gintama mood anyway, because I just missed that series. So, I can't wait to read that. I cannot wait to read that greatness. Haven't watched Game of Thrones since season 8. Akash Panda, man. House of Dragon, good stuff. Season 1, so good. Season 2 had its ups and downs. But brother, you have got to watch the new series, The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, man. They cooked. They flipping cooked. It was great stuff, man. Unexpectedly great. But man, did we have a good time. Good show, man. Good show. Dandelion, that's what it's called. The books... Wait, what did you say, Vortex? You starting with the books? Oh, no, the show. Probably show, but I ordered the books tonight. Nice. Yeah, I mean, listen. You can most certainly go either way. I started off most certainly with the show, then went on to the books. And it's just a fantastic journey, man. So enjoy it however you decide to take it. For sure. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and... so that Vortex, you got in through that first, bro. Yo, that's that gas, man. What a great show, bro. What a great show. They cooked. They really, really did. Let's get into some One Piece. Some reason, not on the site. We're on 1178, right? Book could be like legitimately same here. Because the thing is, right, in my friend group, just let me know if we're on 1178, so I can, well, I can't even look at the title of the stream. Going on to GOT. So, my buddies and I watch every episode together. And even though this season, because my internet went out, we weren't able to watch like half of it together. But that is our show to watch together. So, even when House of Dragon wasn't like up to par, or even when the original series wasn't up to par, it was still a good time because we were all together. Seven Kingdoms, man, I could have watched that show by myself. Still would have been peak. You know what I'm saying? Still would have been peak. But it slapped. It slapped. Oh, Vortex. The break spear! Come on, man. So we're at 1178. It hates giving me the damn chapter. It happens every time. So thank you, Akash Panda. Always coming in clutch. Here we go. One Piece chapter 1178, titled A Fading Nightmare. Coming off of last week's chapter, the nightmare thematic through line from the end of that stretch in the first initial part of the saga when we focus so heavily on the nightmares? A fading nightmare. Is that Kid? Bro, I legit thought we weren't gonna see Kid until like end of series, like Final War Saga One Piece. Oh my gosh! This might be one of the top 5 shocking, unexpected things that I thought, one of the last things I was expecting to see within a cover story, for sure. So we've got Kid here. He's still got half of his body. So this is definitely pre-Shanks. This is pre-Divine Departure because he's obviously number A, not at the bottom of the ocean, and B, not cut in half. So this is definitely pre-Shanks. But even if it were post-Shanks, he somehow got put back together. And he's being chased by some sort of bull here. Insane. I legitimately can't believe I'm looking at Useless Kid right now. This is crazy. All memes aside, definitely good to see my guy again, man. I feel like I haven't seen Kid in so long. So it's always good to see one of the worst generation, or I should say, not necessarily the worst generation, the Supernova Trio. With him, Law, and the King. So, good to see him. Cover request by Nanaka Onita. Kid runs from a bull charging at his jacket. I see. I can definitely see how that would most certainly happen. Sanma Akashiya came to the live-action screening and gave me a piece of gum. I wanted to chew it for the rest of my life. If Oda's hyping up this Sanma Akashiya, I don't know who this person is, but by the assume they're Flagnards, Oda's hyping them up, they've got to be goated. You know what I'm saying? By proximity. And we start off and we see Frankie. Man, Frankie, aura farming. Look at Frankie! Bro, not just Frankie. Frankie, Nami, look at Sanji, bro. Look at Jinbei! Bro, so we're coming off last week's chapter. Straight aura farming. Yo! Straight aura farming. Dude! We got Big Frankie. Arms crossed. What is his foot on? It's on something, one of Killian's body parts. Yeah! I mean, he's just there. They're doing his thing, dude. I love the shot. Love this panel. Frankie looks so sick. Nami looks fantastic. Sanji's holding the pose like he just won a war. I mean, he's like, yeah, I just one-shotted a Holy Knight, bro. Like, get on my level. And you got Big Jinbei holding onto his head. Love this panel. I think this panel perfectly describes why I love the Straw Hats. It's silly. It's flipping hype. It's got their dynamic. I love this panel. You could not have started this chapter off any better. I love this panel, man. Yo, Big Frankie. Come on, man. Luffy and Loki confront Gunko. Huh? Brook? Usopp? Oh, Luffy brought Brook and Usopp over to Nami. I'll leave them to you, because he's gonna go boxing. Let's go, boys! What's going on over there? Need backup? He said, need backup, Frankie. This dude, Frankie's ready to box! Put him in the game. Frankie said, yo, bring someone else. We already bodied Jude killing him. He was trash. We packed him up. We got him out of here. Who you got? I'm still trying to box. Where's Sephiroth? Where's Ganondorf? Where are they? You know what I'm saying? Where's the big bad? Take me to him, man. I'm trying to cook. This dude, Frankie, said need backup to Luffy. Because he knows he's going over to Big Emu. I love Frankie, man. The dude fears nothing. I need Frankie mentality. You gotta have Frankie mentality next to Mama mentality. You have to. The dude has no fear. Big Mom, zilch. Kaido, zilch. Kizaru, zilch. Gorosei, zilch. Emu, who gives a flying flag darts? Frankie mentality, man. Mother of Flagnards. Need backup? I'll count on you if things get bad. Yo, Luffy looks mad. Oh, he's ready. For now, I'd take a few steps back if I were you. Oh, Luffy's ready. Oh, hold on. If he's ready, then I'm ready. Wait just a minute. Where did I put my jersey? I don't remember where I put it, man. This is the second week in a row that I can't find it. Flagnards. I can't find the jersey. But it's on in spirit. This dude just said back up. Luffy said, yo, take a few steps back, brother. Oh, snap. This man said, yo. Hold on. Frankie gets power up and don't know how to act. My goat. My goat. Where's Bam on it? Wilt, Bam, Kobe. Yo, it's one of the funniest skits I've ever seen in my entire life. Shout out Bam Adebayo though, man. Shout out Bam. But Frankie comes in, and Luffy tells him, yo, I appreciate the fact that you want to help. I appreciate the fact that you're trying to join in. But for right now, dude, take a few steps back. Because I'm ready to box. I'm ready to go fight my destiny. I'm ready to go take on the dude that has been taking over all... You know, he doesn't even care about that. That's me adding on to it. Luffy just wants to box the dude that just took out Usopp and Brook. That's all he cares about. He doesn't go flying flatters about 800 years. He doesn't go flying flatters about the fact that Emu's been overruling the world for a flippin' 8 decades. Or not, 8 centuries. He doesn't care. Maybe longer. He doesn't care. The man just wants to box the dude who took out Usopp and Brook. That's all he cares about. All he cares about. And even with that in mind, he's like, yo, take a few steps back because it's about to get a little juicy in here. It's about to get hot in here, son. We've got the Dragon King, and we got Big Looney Tunes going up against potential final villain. My God. Loki's a real wild card. Look who's talking. Sanji, man, stop with the aura farming, dude. Ugh. My straw hats. So Luffy goes in. He's excited. Loki! Oh, we're getting right into it, vamos. Let's go! My God! Bro, Loki right in front of Emu! It's going down! It's happening! My boy Otis said we ain't switching to nothing! We ain't switching! This is Final Saga Hoda! We ain't going to the Isonies! We ain't going to some other thing that is taking us away from Rupees! We're here! All love to the Isonies, by the way. I love Hyogo to the Flower. But it didn't compare to Roof Beast, man. It just didn't compare. It just didn't compare, man. And we're here, and Oda's like, no! We ain't switching! Loki! Gunko Emu! It's time! Fires up that lightning blast breath. Forgot what it's called. Hohenheim. That was the Fullmetal Alchemist character. We'll go with it. Hohenheim, he's charging up Hohenheim. 'Twas but a few years ago when a giant ship was glimped at sea. helmed by a captain of truly immense stature. This is Imu. That craft was never identified, for it skulked deep within the fog-shrouded regions. Who the flag is he talking about? Yet it only ever targeted world government vessels. 'Twas but a few years ago, when a giant ship was glimpsed at sea, helmed by a captain of a truly immense stature. And this is coming from Imu Gunko! This is coming from straight from Imu! Imu! That craft was never identified, for it skulked deep within fog-shrouded regions. Yet it only ever targeted world government vessels. This feels so unprompted. Who in the fuck is that? When a giant ship was glimpsed at sea, helmed by a captain of truly immense stature. A few years ago, now is Imu saying this as an individual who has been living for a very long time, and a few years is like a couple decades to Imu? Or is Imu talking about somebody like recent? Their craft was never identified for its skull. Oh! The man burned by flames! Is he talking about the man burned by flames, dude? Wait! Wait! Is he talking about the man burned by flames? Because if he's talking about the man burned by flames... I dropped the camera. I dropped the camera, man. Wait. Because if he's talking about the man burned by flames, then we may very well be onto something, dude. We may very well be onto some sort of thing from the future. We've been potentially discussing who this dude could be. But it doesn't make any sense. I'm taking this thing off. 'Twas but a few years ago when a giant ship was glimpsed at sea, helmed by a captain of truly immense stature. That craft was never identified, for it skulked deep within fog-shrouded regions. Yet it only ever targeted world government vessels. But I don't understand. I don't understand, man. I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed. Imu Google's talking about Loki? Loki? Loki was out. Loki pre-getting bodied was out here. That makes so much sense. I'll forget my Man by Flames comment. Forget it. This is even better. 'Twas but a few years ago when a giant ship was glimpsed at sea. That's why Ian was bringing it up here. It was a brain fart. I apologize. That's on me. That's on me. I apologize. That's on me. Helmed by a captain of truly immense stature. Captain Loki? That craft was never identified, for skulked deep within fog-shrouded regions. Yet it only ever targeted world government vessels. So if he's talking about Loki, then this is just adding more onto the legend of Loki, which is so interesting to me that Loki, even at that time period, was only ever targeting world government vessels. And the craft that Loki was on was never fully identified, which is extremely interesting. Love the shading here on Imugun Co, showcasing just how big of a blast this is about to hit. Loki comes in, fires off the Hohenheim, Gear 5 Flintstones run. Hey, leave some for me. Let's flippin' go, boys. During that self-same period, a number of credible rumors started to emerge. She got away. Where did she get to? She's too damn small. Concerning the sighting of an unimaginable large flying beast. I can't believe that I was like, why is this so unprompted? It's flipping Loki, obviously. See, this is why I love reading chapters with chat. Concerning the sighting of an unimaginably large flying beast, obviously talking about Loki, the truth is plain to see now. There you are, you'll pay for what you did. Luffy, let's go, man. I don't care what you do, bro. I just gotta see you throw hands with Imu to Usopp and Brook. Huh? What happened? Gunko flails and we see this black liquid. it Loki? Did Loki just impale them? No. So Luffy's eyes jump out. We see the liquid here. Is this Emu? Is Emu exiting Gunko's body? Something came out. Holy flag, what's happening? It's happening! It's happening! Emu! Emu! Not Gunko Emu! Emu! Flipping Emu! Holy flag, North. Cause something came out. Bro, we see hot dog Emu. It's time. Oh god. It's time. It's time for the face reveal. It's time. Hot dog Emu. Something came out. If only thou were erased from the world, as Rox was before thee. Yes. Putting some respect on Rox's name. Comparing the likes of the greatness of Joy Boy to Davy D. Zebek. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Let's go. Let's flipping go. And like I said, this ain't coming from Emu Gunko, and I love me some Emu Gunko. This is coming from Hot Dog Emu. The real Emu. The hot dog. Look at this. Finally. Think I haven't seen this creature in so long. As Rox was before thee. Comes in. Here we go with the books. We see the spellbinding circles. How do you even say this? A co-URL? A co-URL? He's going to the internet browser. A co-URL? Is he pulling something from the deep web? What is he getting? A co-URL? This brother's going to Google. Demonic Covenant. Oh, it's even worse, it's Twitter. This dude is going to flipping Twitter. You gotta be kidding me, man. At some point, enough is enough with somebody's abilities. You can't have somebody being able to access the full blow of the internet. It's too much, man. It's too much. A co-URL demonic covenant goes in. We see thou shalt cast aside a portion of thy lifespan and receive unprecedented strength. He's doing this to Luffy and Loki? Is he trying to stop the planet? Is he trying to plot his own downfall? I don't understand. Thou shalt cast aside a portion of thy lifespan and receive unprecedented strength. In exchange for this blessing, thou shalt loathe each other. Here we go. Here we go. This is what we feared from Emu's abilities, man. So not only can this covenant make it to where you're directly under Emu, as we've seen previously through other characters, but now Emu can even establish different covenants that make it to where people hate each other. Not just serve directly under Emu, they can hate each other. Domi Reversi. This early in the fight, dude? They're already being Domi Reversi'd? Luffy and Loki? What are we doing, man? Already? What's the big idea? This thing doesn't even hurt. What a pain. Wait, did you just say rocks? They rejected Domiversi? They rejected Domiversi. Luffy said, who are you trying to hit that with? Who are you trying to hit Domiversi? Who are you trying to hit that technique? Who? Who are you trying to Tomiversi, Emu? It ain't me. It ain't me, man. I'm on a different level. I'm on a different wavelength. What's the big idea? This thing doesn't even hurt. Hot dog Emu goes up. What a pain. Wait, did you say rocks? Obviously, rocks has been so much to Loki. As expected, these two are truly... They're not affected by Domiversi, y'all. They're not affected by Domiversi. Emu forgot the password. Emu forgot the password and he can't hack in there. There's no amount of deep web that can get into this, brother. You can't hack into this URL right here, brother. What's the big idea? This thing doesn't even hurt. Luffy and Loki are unscathed by Domiversi. Thank God. As expected, those two are truly... So obviously, Luffy and Loki are both special. They cannot be affected by Domiversi. We expected Luffy to be unaffected by Domiversi. We've talked about this at length for many a stream. Ever since Domiversi first became a concept. We've talked about this for so long. So long. But to know that at this point in time, to Emu, those two are truly ... Now what fascinates me about this is we know Joy Boy's important to Emu. We know Davy's important to Emu. We also know that the original wielder of Nidhogg was important to Emu. So I have to wonder how all of these things come into play, specifically in regards to how they all relate to Emu. Well, obviously, we have some sort of thoughts in regards to Nika's relation to Emu. But with Davies and Nidhogg's, those two are I can't even begin to imagine, right? That connection. But they're obviously there. Luffy comes in, Gomu Gomu no. She's too puny to fight like this. Ragnir. Luffy comes in, charges up. Emu. Luffy's boxing Emu. How did we get to this point? How did we get to here? How did we get to this point? How? Luffy's boxing Emu. Luffy just nailed a booming Dawn Gatling on Hot Dog Emu. The true form. Dude. I can't believe what I'm seeing, dude. And it's like I prepared myself, but I high-key prepared myself for Oda switching to something else. And even if we did switch back to Luffy and Loki versus Emu, then we weren't going to see any type of hands. Bro, we've been here the whole chapter. And Luffy just fired a booming Dawn Gatling at Emu in the same arc. Then we got Emu fighting Roger, Garp, Rocks, and Kaido, and Big Mom, and bro, this arc is loaded, man. It's big. It's big. You're kidding me, dude. So Luffy comes in, starts firing away at one of the final villains of the story. The man who's been over the world for 800 years. What am I looking at? This panel looks like fan fiction. Luffy's fighting Emu. Do y'all know how much we theorized about this? How much we've talked about this at length for freaking years on end? The day that Luffy fights Emu, the day that Luffy boxes against Emu, in this form? Because I was expecting the Gunko Emu form, because I was like, yeah, it's not Emu. Or it is Emu, but it's Emu. And I was like, this is Emu. This is the same shadow hot dog Emu that Roger and them fought. Booming Dawn Gatling. Here we go, Ragnar. Squeak, squeak. Move it, Luffy. Squeak, squeak. Hold up. And Loki's back in his regular state. He's outside of Dragon King. Emu. Niflheim. And he smacks the flagnards out of Instant Messenger Sama. Gunko. Wow, is that your finishing move? Shoot, sure seems like this thing. But I wasn't done flipping butt-kicking this Flagnard. And Luffy turns old. I have no idea what you are, but doing it this way is much quicker. This dude, Loki, just froze Emu. Is he top 1? We can't beat because Shanks beat him. He froze Emu. What am I looking at? Doing it this way is much quicker. Besides, I was way too big for way too long. Loki, you're filthy. You're nasty. We should have given you the flippin' 5-year max when we first met you. This is a beautiful thing to see, man. What is going on in this chapter, bro? Elbaf Fishing Village, here we go. Focus on putting out the fires. That Loki prick, don't call my goat that ever again, may have taken down the monsters for us, but cleaning up after him is his own calamity. Hunting Village. So we were wrong about Loki killing Harold. We may have misjudged him, but look at this mess. He's still a pain in the butt maverick. Go Zeus, keep pouring. Not me putting in work, I'll do my best. Sea Cloud, shoulder throw. Lilith, even the ODCs have limits too, you know. It's double base spread. Whoa, West Village. Did we do it? If they offload it back to white, then yeah. But if some start to regenerate, then it wasn't enough. Forgive us, chiefs. It was, like some kind of malicious darkness swallowed us whole. Don't fret over it. We couldn't resist it either. Dang you, captains. How dare you, there's still 2 or 3 left. Alright, I got this. Zoro action. Chopper! The brother who executes holy knights and don't reverse dudes at will! And he's still doing it. Chopper! My God! What are you made of? He's still slapping the demon out of these dudes. Bro! Zoro! And he just casually, hey buddy! Look if he just didn't do the impossible. Hey buddy, it's been so long! And he just flipping did what no one else has done in the series, God bless him. What did you just do? No idea, seems like I can undo the unification. Just by hitting them. Chopper's gonna come in clutch in the final war, man. Maybe it's because you're an amazing doctor? I love how even Zoro's like, yeah, that's gotta be the only possibility, right? Don't you dare think that. That kind of praise makes me happy, because it doesn't, you jerk. Nah, that's gotta be it. You are amazing. Bah, 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 bah. We've sorted the mess around here. Wonder how the others are doing. No sign of enemy activity in Artisan Village. More fires have broken out, though. No foes in Alcohol Village either, just raging flames. We see the tree. Seems like all that's left is to extinguish the fires. Keep your eyes peeled in case any of those demons are still alive out there. Owl Library, Saul and Robin, what's going on here? Something went wrong, refresh the page, or use the report button? Emu's trying to silence me, man. Emu! This brother gets frozen and now he wants to stop my progress. He gets cooked by my kings and what does he do? He wants to stop me from reading the rest of the chapter. Something went wrong, refresh the page. Great. Great, man. I can't believe this happened in this chapter. Dude, they denied the reversing. And Luffy hit Emu with a full-blown booming Dawn Gatling. What is happening? And then Loki comes in Niflheim and freezes Emu. Something went wrong, refresh the page. I'm refreshing the page. Why isn't it working? How does this chapter exist? What is going on, man? Did anybody else get this error? Emu's salty? Did anybody else get this error? Every time I refresh the page, something went wrong, refresh the page, or use the report button below. It's like, that's really as far as I can go and read this chapter. Let me try another site. Okay. I'm on another site now. Let's see if this one works. Hot dog, Emu, bro, I can't believe this happened. This is crazy. This one loaded past Saul and Robin. So we go back to the Owl Library. There's definite fire damage, but the shelves are empty. There should at least be fragments of books left. Biblo the Owl ain't here either. Neither. I don't want to be too optimistic, but you think he might have moved the books? I'd be overjoyed if he did, but even if that were possible, where did he go? Things got wrapped up pretty quickly. Once we went on the offensive, well, it ain't like this was a full-on war against their whole organization, you know. Even if these guys are Knights of the Holy Land, there were only 3 of them. Yeah, it's insane how thoroughly they managed to devastate somewhere as massive as Elbaf. What happened to the Great One? Killingham's like, man, what happened to Emu, bro? We cooked him. Obviously, he's not taken out yet. That's Emu we're talking about. But he's temporarily cooked. That's very fascinating, though. Now, I am curious because we keep calling back to like Frankie and Sanji and them talking trash about the Holy Knights. My cousin and I brought up the idea potentially of like Shamrock making a return that could end up like even the playing field, right? Bringing in somebody on the level of Shamrock alongside of Emu. You don't even need the rest of the Holy Knights. Just those two by themselves are leveling the playing field. Outskirts of West Village, but I'm so curious. What? Bro, that paw is huge. Here we go. Ouch. Luffy's group. Wait, what in the world? We see a thumping heart and several individuals. and a massive paw. My disbelief of Luffy versus Emu actually happening in this chapter is not allowing me to think about this moment. But I don't know what's going on here. First thing I thought of was Law, but I was like, that's impossible. So it has to do something with his paw. Loki potentially, but it doesn't make sense either. Oh, it made more sense than Law, I suppose. A beating heart. We'll touch back on that. Oh, snap, we're back to Luffy. Luffy's group. Loki, I'm hungry. Go back to the village, and it ain't like I carry food on me. What's with that weird look anyway? Squirrel, I'm hungry. Squeak. Emu? Emu disappears? The Holy Land of Money. Oh. What's about to happen when this man retreats? The Holy Land of Marijoa. Look at this destruction right here on the right. Pangea Castle Flower Room, the butterflies. Elders. Yes, Great Emu. The Holy Land will be without Mu for a short... Next week. There's a chapter next week. It didn't say break next week. Next week, we're not gonna get Gunko Emu. We're not gonna get Hot Dog Emu. We're getting Emu. We're getting Instant Messenger Sama Emu pulling up. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually terrified. Gunko Emu, through Wi-Fi telepathy, nearly shattered the dimensions with the sheer amount of hockey. What in the flying flagnards is the actual Emu about to do? I kept thinking too, why does it feel like everything's going so well for us right now? To the point to where Loki even froze the Hot Dog Emu form. Emu's about to put in work, bro. And I'm so... Now. We have to get this face revealed right now, right? If Emu pulls up, we've got to get the face reveal. Unless Emu really is this blob, which very well could be the case. But it feels like it's face reveal time, right? It's got to be. Emu's pulling up. Not telepathy Emu, not hot dog Emu. Emu is pulling up. Straight from the flower room. Holy sweet mother of flagnards. Yo, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's about to happen. This is terrifying. I don't know. When was the last time Emu showed up to anything? Because Emu technically went over to where Saturn or through Saturn to be able to box like rocks in them. But that was through Saturn. This is Emu. I would dare say Emu potentially hasn't gone somewhere to this capacity since the Joy Boy time period, right? Which is terrifying. Is there a possibility that we end Elbaf with an L? Do we end Elbaf on an L? Do we barely survive this? I know we have Luffy and Loki. Luffy and Loki are them, and they just denied Mercy. 2 Yonko level dudes. We can make this happen. But this is Emu, man. There's a lot of possibilities in the air right now. A lot of possibilities in the air. We could genuinely lose. We could win. Barely. We could survive. Barely. We've got Luffy and Emu, obviously. And Loki, obviously, so we can put in work. But what does it mean when Emu shows up? What are the limits? This is no longer Wi-Fi Emu, as we've discussed. Work from home Emu. This is Emu showing up at the office. This is Emu coming in, man. Emu. Not through Zoom. Not through any type of FaceTime. The brother is showing up. Or sister. Straw Hats versus Emu, dude. Elbaf, yeah, good point. Elbaf. That's a good point. I love what Sotenaget said. Mu of all people knows how powerful Nidhogg and Nika is, and he's still pulling up alone with full confidence. Yo, Emu, what are you about to do, dog? The only thing that has ever shook Emu in this series was Joy Boys Hockey. That was like a PTSD moment for Emu. Outside of that, we had Emu slightly sweat back in God Valley. And we had, especially whenever like Davy was brought up. But besides that, Emu's always been in control. Pulling up, like you said, that's a great way of putting it. With Nika and Nidhogg are there, without any type of backup, is nuts. Yo, what are we about to see, dude? We're obviously going to see the fullest extent of the abilities, but I just don't know what that means. But we've taken a lot of W's. Giants mostly are out of the Reversi now. We took care of the rest of the Holy Knights that are there on Elbaf, outside of, like, obviously Shamrock is in the Holy Land. And then Emu. So, listen, I'll tell you right now. Emu pulls up. Just Emu. And it's real Emu. And there's a possibility we lose. If Emu pulls up with Shamrock, it might be over. The series might come to a close, son. Yo, I am flabbergasted by this ending. Emu is showing up. Emu, y'all. This was, I genuinely was not expecting to see Emu until the end of the story. Now that Emu's showing up here, I don't know what happens. I don't. Where do we go? We see Emu go all in. Either Emu takes the W, or what are we doing at the end? What are we doing at the end of the story? This is Emu. I don't know what happens, man. I don't know what happens. Do we barely survive? Do we beat Emu? Is that even a possibility? This early? Well, I say that we're in the flipping finale, final saga. But beating Emu pre-Laugh Tale, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. It really does feel like we either A, survive barely, or B, we go in. Like, we go in. And barely manage to survive. This is exciting, man. This is a really exciting development. We have Emu pulling up twice. Once in Goomko form, the other time in actual form. So now I have to wonder if next week is the face reveal then. And that's the break week chapter. If that's the case, God, I'm going to have to stay off social media starting tomorrow. If we get Emu's face reveal next week, oh. The fact that that could actually happen is scary. The fact that that can genuinely happen is terrifying. Hey, watch out, lazy mofos. Yo! Imagine we get Emu's laugh. Next week's Silhouette arrives, the end of the chapter, then break week, then face reveal after break. That could also happen. Let's go ahead and read some supers. Let's read some supers. I can't believe what I just read. Like, the thing is, like I said, I could see Wi-Fi Emu, because that makes sense to me, right? We get Wi-Fi Emu in preparation for the actual Emu in the final war. No, this is actual Emu now. What the flip is going on, man? God almighty, bro. Yo, my mind is mush right now. It is straight mush, dude. Holy flagnards. Money comes with a 5 says, you probably thought I wanted your answer now. I did not. Read the Destiny Supers and you'll get it. I'm happy you were mad. Start off angry too. Luffy versus Usopp. Glad you understand, man. Definitely glad you understand. But yeah, I'll definitely get the context when we read through the other Supers. Appreciate you for that, brother. Howl Summon 9953 says Loki equals lurking legend. So, I genuinely thought he was talking about Loki, the lurking legend, until y'all pointed out he was talking about Loki. And when he started talking about Loki, or that y'all pointed out he was talking about Loki, that made way more sense to me, because I was like, why the flip would he be talking about the lurking legend? You're right. Unless lurking legend has ties to Luffy and Loki, which might as well, with like the Nidhogg and Nika stuff. But, and obviously lurking legend has the final word poneglyph. But that makes more sense to me about Loki. He's just talking about Loki. I don't think Loki's lurking legend. I do not think that in the slightest. Totally two different characters. But I was definitely fascinated by that line before, classic Recon, catching on to things way too late. But thank you, Hello-sama. Muddy comes in with a 2 and says, my YouTube videos are up now on the channel Muddy120 Vid Chat. Yo, shout out to Muddy120, man, and the YouTube channel. Definitely go check out my guy's channel. Thank you so much for the super, dude. Florida Baggage comes in with a 2 and puts a Santa hat. Facts. Straight facts. Muddy120 then comes in, I should say Muddy comes in with a 2. It's funny when you read the supers, I say I can't reach DMs. Funny, when you read the supers, I say I can't reach you in DMs. Oh, okay. We'll definitely address that whenever we get to the supers. I definitely got you. Appreciate you for that. And then Akash Panda comes in with a 2 and says, ran to Elbaf just so we can avoid an off-screen Blackbeard. And Lord knows that's what was coming. I'm telling you. That's what I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? And it very well still could happen. A tired Emu leaving Elbaf after having gone in, running into Blackbeard in the Holy Land in post-Elbaf would be peak fiction. It would be peak flipping fiction. That's all I know. That's all I know, man. It would be peak fiction. And I take it. But you're so right. He definitely is bucking the fade from off-screen Blackbeard, who is factually the strongest character in the verse. Shout out hashtag off-screen Blackbeard. Andres Gonzalez comes in with a membership of 49 months, which is insane to me. 4 years. This Emu's about to have his crocodile moment. Ooh, I like that. His dub. Yeah. He just comes in and embodies everyone. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Emu comes in, and how Crocodile had the hook. Shout out to the hooks. He had the hook. Just comes in, bodies everyone. Takes care of business. And that's the end of round 1. I mean, it would definitely add it to the credentials that we need for an individual of that caliber, right? Not that Emu needs anymore, but to actually see it in action it would be like whenever Toguro back in, shout out to Yu Yu Hakusho, this is always what I think of, when we saw Toguro's true strength. Remember, Toguro didn't show his strength. As a matter of fact, we saw like a 1/100th of it. And then he showed his actual strength in front of Yusuke. We were like, holy crap, this is impossible. And that's what made the Dark Tournament, that was a piece that made the Dark Tournament so incredibly enticing, right? How in the flying flatters could this even take place? And I can see something like that happening with Emu here, where we get a taste of it, like 1/100th. But now when we get Emu popping in, and we see what Emu can do, it could be like that Toguro situation where like, oh, Flagnards. Like, this is what this individual is capable of, right? And what we have to look forward to. So, most certainly can see that being the case as well. Andres Gonzalez having his crocodile moment. For sure. For sure. My boy, Michael D. Mickles, comes in, for 50 months. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all are insane. Long time no see, King. Let me get some water real quick. Long time no see, King. I actually thought I was going to make it last week, and then found out I was a day late. Emu Double Fruit reveal is more likely than seeing their true appearance. You know what? Good call. Good call. I can see that too. Actually, I'll raise you, Michael Mickles. You're right. I feel like if Oda's been saving the face reveal for this long, we might actually, rather than fruit reveal, because I don't think we're going to get a fruit reveal necessarily, Michael Mickles, but I do think we get our biggest hint towards what it is that Emu and the Gorosei are rocking. Meaning, we know they don't have traditional quote-unquote fruits. They sort of have like what's tied to the origin of fruits. So I think when Emu shows up, we may actually get our biggest hint as to what the origin of fruits is. Post-Egghead. Right, where obviously Egghead, we had a pretty big theory in chapter 1070. I believe it was chapter 1070 with Luffy versus Lucci. 1069, I think it was. 1069, 1070. With Vegapunk's theory on what fruits are. We very well may get that from Emu. Not his theory, but a showcase. The biggest showcase of that. Because I strongly do believe fruits do come from whatever that origin, whatever, Emu and them have that causes them to have these crazy abilities is tied to what I believe is the origin of fruits. The panels you were confused about was just Summers trying to put himself back together if Luffy looking destroyed. It was Summers. I was wondering why he looked so familiar. But like I said, I was so caught up in the hype. I thank you for that, Akash Panda. Thank you so much for clarifying that. I truly appreciate it. That makes a lot more sense. So now we're gonna see that stupid Flagnard in the manga again. Well, we're gonna get to see him get bodied again, so that's a good thing. I was gonna make it last week only to find out I was a day late. But still, Michael Mickles, going back into your into the Emu comment, I definitely see where you're coming from. And like I said, I'll raise you that I don't think we get fruit reveal because I don't think there is a fruit there. I think we'll just get whatever the origin of, not the origin of fruits, but our biggest hint towards the origin of fruits, personally. Then Josh Pointer goes membership for 31 months and says, will Emu use instant transmission? I'm going to say yes, Josh Pointer. I'm going to say Emu uses either Spellbinding Circle or Emu legitimately instant, no Spellbinding Circle, just goes down there. Palo. But I'm going to say Spellbinding Circle because we've been talking about, or the arc has been talking about the link between the abysses and the abyss marks. So I think it'll be through abyss travel. But just imagine no Spellbinding Circle and Emu just pops up. That would be flipping insane, man. Insane. I think the face reveal will be in Emu's flashback. Lazy Mofos, I've been on a sort of similar thought where I think Oda may be saving the face reveal for post Void Century, where we see what Emu used to look like in the Void Century, and then we finish the Void Century flashback with Emu's current look, because I don't think Emu looks the same now than Emu looked towards like the beginning of the Void Century. This is obviously with the Joy Boy face reveal and all that as well. But I think the Emu one is specific because similar to the ancient weapons and us having not seen them yet, outside of obviously Poseidon. The reason why we haven't seen those yet is because we don't have the context of the Void Sentry implications. Like, I think pre-Egghead, we would have been so confused by the ancient weapons. Post-Egghead, we can understand the ancient weapons have a connection to futuristic technology. So that's in context, makes total sense. So now we can see the ancient weapons and we'll be like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Imu's true appearance, I feel like if we were to get that now, would be awesome. I would definitely take it. But it may not make sense if it's something that connects to the Void Sentry. But if it's something that could still make sense, then why not give it to us now? It's all going to depend on the context necessary for understanding the face reveal. It just depends. Oh, Zach, I like that theory too. By the way, thank you, Josh Pointer and Michael Mickles. Appreciate y'all. I like what Josh Pointer or what Zach says. Maybe the Holy Knights are stronger the closer they are to Emu. The tables might be turning. So the closer they are to the actual Emu, the stronger the Holy Knights may be. I actually like that theory a lot. Because then that would explain why we've been talking so much trash about the Holy Knights, called them garbage. Now when Emu shows up, they all get their own power up and start going in. I would love that. Just to add more flame to the fire. And give us more of an opportunity to see the Strats in action. I think the Strats might get a break on Elbaf before Emu arrives, sort of like the mid-arc food break during Egghead. I think we'll get some extra time to explore the Atom Tree then. Oh, so you think that Emu won't show up immediately, that we'll actually get an opportunity to explore a little bit. That's interesting, Quag, too. I didn't even think about that. But I can see it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just like an Egghead. Get the food break before Emu shows up. Just like when Saturn, or it's Kizaru/Saturn showed up. Yes, I can see that. Absolutely. Yeah, what did you guys think about that metallic heart that now we know that belongs to Summers? I was so curious on why that was there in Thumping. It might have to do with something like Zach is saying about this about Planet Yard Rat. Planet Yard Rat is hilarious and insane. But so true. I forgot what my train of thought was. What if Emu doesn't go in person, but instead goes to Reverse Mountain to release the Hellfire Serpent, and then to Elbaf? Wow. This would break Reverse Mountain, dividing the world like he said. Yo, that's a cook. I'm the kid, that's a cook. I like that theory, man. Because it didn't necessarily say where Emu was going. Ooh. Ooh. Dude, I like that idea, because we're all thinking Emu's going to show up and body everyone. What about if Emu unlocks something like that, like you said? Changes the landscape of the world. Ooh, that's a good theory. Good food for thought, I'm the King. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, just like you said, Jormungandr is fighting Nidhogg in the mural. That's a... Yo, I'm the Kid. If that happens, you called it. That's a good call. That's a good call. That's a really, really, really good call. Wow. That's a good call, dude. Sabo has also seen Emu, and even got Emu's, and even saw Emu's giant demon form. That is true, RGRM, and survived somehow.
Emu has had a Denjiro experience. He looks different from how he looked in the Void Century. It'd be interesting to reveal his now face, and then some twist in the flashback is yeah, that's also a good point, Akash. The reverse of what we were talking about earlier, right? Show what Emu looks like now, and then go back into the Void Century and see what the original version of Emu was. You know, I'm still of the belief of either one of two things, right? Either Emu is just a regular individual that's going to look like a person and was born as a person, or we're going to be exploring the route of Emu coming from another planet and being like an actual legitimate alien. And the only reason why I think that is a possibility is because remember when Oda was asked about Emu and he said it would be boring if I explained it now? If you just say Emu's an alien, it's like, okay, and? Who cares? There's no context behind it. I mean, obviously it's interesting because it's an alien, right, in the One Piece verse. But I think what would make it interesting in a Void Century context is seeing the full scope of, like, the first world, right? Like, we see maybe, like, the first spaceship that arrives in the One Piece world. Maybe humanity's fleeing from Mother Earth over into this new planet. Emu comes in and survives from like the old guard of whatever that race was on planet Earth. Comes in, you know, and so on and so forth. Lands, pulls up like the serpent in the Adam and Eve story in Genesis. Provides his quote unquote knowledge from Earth. It poisons this one. There's a lot of stuff that can happen there, right? In the Void Century flashback, a lot of fascinating sci-fi fantasy-esque stuff that would be cool in a futuristic setting that the Void Century is going to be placed in, right? So it would be super cool. If Emu were an alien and we could explore things like that. But if Emu was just a regular individual, what I think would be interesting would be, just like Akash Panda's saying here, the idea of seeing current Emu in their face. Let's just say, like we've talked about, the Emu potentially has Lily's face in the current modern day. Then we go into the Void Century and we see Emu with a completely different expression. How did we get to that point, right? How did Emu come into the point of taking over other people's bodies and stuff like that? So all of that is so incredibly fascinating to me. I think the heart is a product of the contract. Never mind. I think you got it in one. I think you got it in one, Akash Panda. I think that's what that means. I genuinely, because why else would we have that panel and then we cut back and we see Emu escape into the Holy Land? Right? They're obviously connected. I think you got it. I think you got it in one. The heart is a product of the contract. I genuinely believe that to be the case. Quack2 says, think about it. Gunko is still frozen in that block of ice. This is our chance to talk with her. Good point. Very good point. This will be our chance to talk no jutsu Gunko. 100%. What if Emu was just a shadow blob thing who used to look normal in the past? That also fascinates me. Because then we get to how did we get to this point, right? I think the Shadow Blob works just because of Gear 5. Having Gear 5 versus Massive Shadow Blob just sounds like super fun, right? But I want to know the history behind it. So, super, super, super exciting stuff, man. If Emu appears immediately, I don't see how we'll ever get a chance to talk with Gunko. We may have a moment with her before Emu appears that she could possibly die when he does. And I know we've talked about that at many points too, right, Quag, too, how we're expecting Gunko to die at the end of this arc. But how would we ever, like you said, get the opportunity to talk to Gunko? And, you know, something that's actually a great call. That's a really good call. Because we were like, well, then what's the point, right? Like, we've learned so much about Gunko, but if it's going to be Gunko gets taken out by Emu at the end, but we never got an opportunity to really get to know Gunko, it's like, then why does it matter? But if we get a moment to talk with Gunko now, resonate, empathize with Gunko, and then Gunko gets taken away, it's like, dang, man. That works. That works. Can't talk about aliens from space without bringing up the GOAT NL. Preach. That's a fact. Conjuro Kanzenbo was a blob. Most certainly was. Everything all ties back to Wano. We also need to see what happened with Biblo in the books. They did disappear. This is our chance to see the astral realm. Ooh, that's a good point. We do have to look at the astral realm, because I do believe the astral realm is actually going to hold some answers for the first world of One Piece. I most certainly do. I think our biggest hints for first world One Piece will be in two places: the astral realm and whatever the pre-Laugh-Tale arc is. Whether it's Lodestar, the moon, I don't give a flying flag, nerds. Whatever it is, going to be a huge first world hint. And I think the astral realm is also going to be right on top of that as well. I really do. 100%. Theory, Chopper. Oh, I'm glad we brought up Chopper, because Chopper's still cooking, and I don't know how he's doing it. Embodies everything good about humanity, so the demons made from negativity can't handle his touch. So the purity of Chopper is doing so. That's a very Oda answer, honestly. I think that's super cool. I don't think it is a shadow blob. We have seen a little bit of their nose. Why add facial details if it is just a shadow blob? That's also a good point, Akash Penna. It feels like we have seen features of Imu's face that allow it to look like there clearly is a face under there, right? Sometimes, even at the end of this chapter, it looks like there's a helmet there too, right? It's very strange with Imu. In the mural, Nidhogg is atop the tree, the Heaven Realm, fighting the approaching Jormungandr sent by the Earth God. So Nidhogg being on top of the tree, over there. Oh my God! Inject it. Inject it. So does that mean we have Loki versus Jormungandr, and then we have Imu who's on the left side of the screen fighting Luffy and the Straw Hats? Inject it. I'm you're cooking. You continue to cook, bro. You continue to flip it cook. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Gokon rate Elbaf 1 through 10. Can't wait to catch up to it. I can't even give it a number right now. I've been enjoying this arc so much. The only thing I can tell you, without giving a number rating, is that the potential is there for favorite arc. And right now it's sitting in that personal space of favorite arcs. It's sitting there with my Wanos, my Marinefords, the Water 70s lobbies, the Skypias, right, the Eggheads. It's sitting there in that like sphere of favorite One Piece arcs for sure. I love this arc. I think it's awesome. I just gotta see how it concludes. Are you down? The first world is our world in 2026. So Alejandro Solis, I've been thinking about this a lot. I think either the first world or the Void Century is our world 2026. Maybe not 2026, but potentially either a little past our world 2026 or a little before, like maybe like 1940s or 50s. I'm going to go with Void Century / First World. I'm going to say First World. I'm going to say First World maybe. First World maybe on that one. Then when everything resets again and we go into the Void Century, I think Void Century is past our world. So I think Void Century's future. Like, what Oda envisions for, like, sci-fi, our world, is Void Century. First World, you're fascinating me with that. Because I'm stuck. For First World, obviously, we know how, based on, like, the technology that's, that we see through, like, the buildings and the structures and even the stuff that we saw on the moon, it's expected that it would be at the very least something within our time period. So it may be modern age. You know what? For the sake of argument, Alejandro, so let's go yes. Because I just think that'd be so cool. I'll go yes. I'll go current modern times. I'll go from the Adam and Eve times of Genesis to our current time will be First World. And then Void Century World will be post reset, rediscovering technology, and a point farther than where we're at right now. Oda's sci-fi version of One Piece. I think that would actually be really cool to explore. Clearly, Emu's really bobbins. That's a fact. Loki wanted to attack WG ships as revenge, but did not want Harold's efforts to be ruined. Give me a second. Let me get some water real quick. Before I read this super, because I think this is definitely something I want to discuss. Just let me... Be right back. Wait. What did I just take off? Give me a second. Alright, we are back. With some agua. Okay, let's bring up these two comments right here. Akash Panda says, Loki wanted to attack WG ships as revenge, but did not want Harold's efforts to be ruined, so he did it while hiding in the mist just like Harold. And I love this idea. I did not connect this in the moment, because obviously the hype was getting to me, as it normally does. But I think now that you've suggested this, I strongly believe that was the intention of Oda, which is so cool. And I'm really glad you brought it to my attention, because it does make a lot of sense. Like you said, he didn't want Harold's efforts to be ruined, and so he did it while hiding in the mist, very similar to what Harold did, which is just, what a touch. What an awesome touch. Something I forgot to suggest last stream, read the Viz translation for the second world verse of the Harley, and think about Chopper versus Doomsday. Gotcha. The second world verse of the Harley.
look. I can't believe this chapter happened, man. This is crazy. What are we even doing at One Piece right now? I opened up chapter 1138 and it immediately went to the mural. How many times I've been here? The second world, within the void, there was breath. The forest god tamed demons. The forest god tamed demons. The forest god. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Those of the half moon dreamed, those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God. Which is, without question, Emu. And the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. This is still the greatest panel of all time. I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you. But the forest god is interesting. The forest god tamed demons. So then, what does that say about Chopper? Quack 2. I think that is very, very interesting. Within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and then the sun spread the fires of war. You've really got me thinking now, Quack 2. Like, obviously, because this is the dang mural again, but this is such an interesting comment. The forest god tames demons. Emu seems like too big of an event for only Straw Hats and Elbaf to even know about alone. I'm not even saying anyone shows up. I don't know if this event goes unnoticed with the consequences, with no consequences for Emu. I feel the same way, dude. For sure. The two devil fruits that Zebek wanted were Nika and Nidhogg because they cannot be done reverse seed. That makes sense to me, especially coming off of this chapter. That makes a lot of sense, and because of the arc that we're in, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. Hey coach, do you think all the devil fruits in their human versions are a weakness against Emu, since Chopper has an effect, or is it something else? I think for Chopper specifically, it is something else. Exactly, Jesse Velez. He most certainly did tame them. Green Bull's original Devil Fruit user. Green Bull relevance in 2026 would be insane for like their original fruit user. There are some crackpot theories that Chopper is the forest god taming Duma Reverse Demons. Which, listen, man, that he's been the only one doing it so far, right? It makes sense that the forest god would be an animal. That's also true. Is Ocarina of Time actually getting a remake, or is that BS? We don't know if it's BS yet. We just know that it's a huge rumor right now, as well as Star Fox getting a brand new entry. I guess we'll find out in the next Nintendo Direct. I think the next Nintendo Direct is going to have a lot of stuff in it. Personally, as a Xenoblade fan, I'm hoping that we get our Switch 2 versions. But I think, especially because this is the year of Zelda and the year of Mario, I think that Direct could potentially have, if that Star Fox thing is true, we could have an announcement for either Star Fox / Mario and even Ocarina of Time, the remake, if that's happening. Or if one of those is happening, I think one or two will be announced at the next direct, following one at the following direct, and we're smooth sailing till the end of the year. But we don't know for sure. The only thing we know is that a very credible source said that it is happening. That has called a lot of stuff in the past. But outside of that, it's not confirmed yet. It's just a part of the routine. Need Xenogears remake though? Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started, man. You know how much I want a Xenogears / a way to, outside of the PS Vita, to play Xenogears / Xenosaga on a current platform. Let's make it happen, man. Please. Please. Big Moo channeling his inner Voldemort and pulling up to reverse metal like it's the Chamber of Secrets. That's a fantastic reference, honestly. We're going to have Aragog pulling up as Saturn. Right there as well. That'd be hilarious. 1 week away from Mario Galaxy movie, man. I'm so excited for that, especially after what was revealed yesterday. We get Zelda remasters, remake rumors every week. So we have to wait, but the source is very credible. The source is very credible, but we just have to wait and see. I dream of more Ocarina content, best ever. Legendary game. Legendary game. So what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to do as promised. I'm going to read through the supers left behind by Muddy, and then we are going to potentially, if there's any more things we want to discuss for One Piece, then we'll do that, and then we'll call it and end the stream because it is late. Excuse me, and I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I grew up as a teen with Mario 64 and Ocarina, two legendary games. I hold Mario 64 in such an extremely high regard on a personal level. I just think it's such a brilliant game. And I think this way about Ocarina of Time as well. But with Mario 64, there's something about that game that genuinely inspires me to create. Like, when I think about Mario 64 and the circumstances surrounding the creation of that game and what it still means today, it genuinely inspires me as a creator. It's a really special game. It's not even my favorite 3D Mario game. And I just think it's that special. So let's go ahead and read through these to get some context for what Monday brought up earlier. What comes in, and I'll read all of them back to back, but they were all $5 supers. And once again, Muddy, I greatly do appreciate you for holding me in such a regard that you want to leave all these messages here. I truly, truly appreciate you. Just like I said at the beginning of the stream, just remember that there's a time and place for all this. But I really do appreciate you for taking the time to do this. So I'm going to read them all back to back here. Recon, I've reached my limit in life, friends and family. Our friends fighting sadly as new friends. That's what it's about. Destiny happened between me and you. Mildly upset. Here, I'm upset at you. I lost my big brother's life. My toxic family made homeless twice. It's been 14 months sending faded letters to family, friends, YouTubers, and their destinies. I was about to send over 140 in Destiny super chats for you. How much I care for you, even if we never met. You're crying over Destiny beef now. In regards to that, for the last week, that was on me because I was on vacation last Thursday and Friday, so I was home on Thursday. So that's why I apologize a bunch of times to everybody who normally makes the streams, because it was just I was home on Thursday, so we were gonna react, right? If I'm free and home, like I always say, if One Piece is out, I'm out. So that was the reason why we did it a day earlier last week. So following that up, Friends Destiny Fighting, Luffy vs. Usopp, it was Shane versus Recon. So hurt when you stream on Thursday, waited so long to send Destiny Supers on Friday, and I apologize for that. I tried to, like I said, I always try to keep it consistent every week, but last week, man, I was home and free and One Piece is out. I had to do it. I was talking when you said you were already friends like that before, but there's one problem. We're not true friends yet. I haven't met, video chatted. On Discord, I Destiny sent you our friendship
Address faded letter. If you want to move forward properly reading, with your friends, go read it. Tired of sacrificing my mental health just to reach your recon? Well, first and foremost, do not sacrifice your mental health just to reach me. All right, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a pastor. I'm not anything. I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a dude. So do not sacrifice your mental health in the slightest to reach me of all people. You full universe, God-given destiny. Not universe, God-given destiny. I have another destiny given to me by my good Lord and Savior. To give One Piece YouTubers the faded letters. Do you know how hard it is to contact you, Recon? You have an enemy's friend on Discord. That I most certainly also apologize for. But you can also reach me on Twitter. I also follow you on there. And let me message you if you share a survey and you don't reply. That is on me. I am unfortunately at this point in my existence. It is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So I will definitely take the blame on that for sure. I most certainly will. To ignore evil is become an accomplice to it. Martin Luther King Jr. If you don't give OP faded letters, probably evil will be here forever. It's time to be a protector, and Destiny give One Piece YouTubers the faded letter. Recon equals Kirishima. People saying hell was invented by the church control. Friendship address faded letter. Sent Discord. I mentioned universe pantheist God put AJ in your path. You said it, and I feel that's happening here with me. Mom has diabetes. Well, I feel you on that. I have quite a few family members that also have diabetes, so I know how that can be, man. So my thoughts are definitely with your mother in that regard. The world gets worse soon. I won't reach out to you 2027 to reach out before 2026 B-Day. Please read letter and give OP YouTubers letters. Real man is a good person. Real man puts love before toughness, ego, values, and image. Shane and our United Universe, God-given destinies. If you want to still become true friends one day, then make a cool borrow man's promise. Cool borrow man's promise is crazy. Shout out to my goat. Seriously, shout out to my boy Cool Borrow. Will be YouTubers letters be a reminder on your wall. No, I can't give a promise on that end. That's one thing I can answer right here, right now. Can't give you a promise on that end. Be a good man and chose protection to do the right thing. Recon, give them faded letters and read them. Meet me on birthday. I also can't give you a promise on that end. Time to be Usopp Season 2 OPLA. Shout out to Usopp in Season 2 OPLA so far. Cousin CJ already joined the crew. Maya and Toru. Mondo's like Madison. 2029, I reunite with family together. 2032. Prophecy, I will come back. You can access faded letters. 3 Discord accounts. Me being chosen protectors. Send faded letters. And then the YouTube video is up for the channel for Spirit Story. Shout out to that. Come on Discord, email, YouTube back, so it's under name Muddy120. Give you a shout out. Appreciate you. Not gonna read that one. I apologize because I'm trying to keep this video up. So I appreciate you for that super, but I'm not reading this one. And then remember, I never met OP YouTubers in Universe God-given Protect Your Destiny to give them faded letters. Universe God's plan, power, family, and friendship. Thank you, Muddy. I managed to keep that promise at the very least and read through all the supers you left behind. So once again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, just please keep it for personal messages. I did it here because he already spent God knows how much to send these, and like I said, I really do appreciate you confiding in me. But like I said, man, the One Piece chapter reactions are not the time and place for this. So like I said, for these from this point forward, just please send them in post chapters. You know, whenever discussions are already done, not at the beginning of the streams. So once again, I apologize for my outburst, but we have fulfilled our end of the bargain here. So all love to you, Muddy. Thank you so much for taking the time to send all of those. But yeah, finishing off our stream here. Ocarina is like my favorite game, but I need to wait to see how it is before I get excited. Quag 2, you're exactly how I was when FF7 was getting remade. Because FF7 for so long was my favorite game. Obviously, still very much so, just right under certain pinnacle I experienced last year. But But I was so like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna feel when it gets remade. And I think the best thing FF7 did was separate itself from the original material, because FF7 and FF7 Remake are two completely different experiences, and I'm so happy for that. So happy. Because if not, I would have a Resident Evil situation where I love RE4 Remake. I love RE4. I really do. You know, I love them both. But there's just something about the original RE4 that keeps me crawling back, right? And so it's that thing when you do like the 1-to-1. Same thing with Metal Gear Solid 3. The Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, extremely cool. I prefer the original. And that is what you're going to get sometimes with these remakes. The thing with the FF7 thing though is the remakes are so different. It's like they sort of help each other, right? And they fill each other. They serve as like filling in the gaps that the other one leaves behind. And so with Ocarina of Time, it's not going to pull an FF7. No one ever will. But I can't wait for it because of the type of game Ocarina of Time was when it was. Ocarina of Time, I think, is the most beloved video game of all time. Full stop, at least from a critical eye perspective. It is the most beloved video game ever. So because of that, it's already going to be very, very difficult to please everyone. So what I hope is Nintendo goes out of their way to make this an experience that is not only just Ocarina of Time for the modern fan, the fan who never had a chance to experience that back in the day, but they also take creative liberties to make it the sort of experience that would make sense for if that game was made today. That's always going to come with its naysayers, obviously. But I just hope that whatever they do with Ocarina of Time, they do it with love and care. Because that is such a special game to so many people. So we'll see what happens. I've already talked about it before, but Wind Waker is that game to me. I wouldn't have even started One Piece without being a fan of Wind Waker first. Yep, definitely. And I need to get back to that as well, man. I've just been playing so much Switch too. Pokopia, like I said, I love that game so much. Absolutely love that game. Hey, Coach, what books are you reading these days? Right now, on my to read, let me pull up my thing. So obviously still going through Malazan. I just started Jade City. Have you guys ever read Jade City by Fonda Lee? Great stuff, man. I have been really, really enjoying it thus far. I've been reading Jade City. Let me see what's in here. I've been translating a French. I don't know French, but I've been trying my hardest to translate it to English. A dissection from a French writer. I was going to say novelist, but a writer who wrote about Xenogears and Xenosaga and their like cultural significance and the inspirations and stuff, and it fascinates me. So I've been translating that, even though, like I said, I don't know how to translate. But through trails, we've learned. So yeah, Malazan, Jade City, which has been the main one that I've been reading, book-wise. And then and then Project Hail Mary, which obviously is just recently got a movie. So that has been the main reads right now. And then in the manga side of things, like I was saying earlier, I'm catching up to Ravages of Time again, and I've been really enjoying it. Coach, have you read the Mistborn series? Kakaroto. I still own the entire thing. It is somewhere around here. But I love the Mistborn series. Where is my Mistborn books? They're somewhere back here. But I adore those. Back when this channel first started off, I met a guy named Froggy Style. I don't know if you guys remember Froggy Style. I had a conversation with Froggy Style when we were talking about stuff we were into, and he recommended the Mistborn series. And that very night, experienced it,
and I became a big Brando Sando fan ever since. I just don't know where my Mistborn books are, but that was my first exposure to Sanderson, and I'll always love him. And shout out to the Mistborn series. I really hope Ocarina of Time remake is a completely different experience. Me too, man. Me too, bro. Like I said, I love Ocarina of Time. I do. I adore that game. But for the sake of the comparisons, if FF7 is treated the way that it was, and Resident Evil 4, because this is what we're talking about, right? When I was a kid, and people were talking about like the greatest games ever made, those were the ones that always brought up in the conversation, right? Like the FF7s, the Resident Evil 4s, Ocarina of Times, and all of those. I've seen what happens when you remade the others. FF7, you can't make everyone happy. So what they do, they've done it in their own way. Obviously, people have been mad about it, but people who really like it, they're really enjoying it. They're two completely different experiences. Resident Evil 4, we saw a near perfect remake, except for a few things. There's a few things I would have done differently. But a near perfect remake, nonetheless. Still hated on. Not by everyone, obviously, but it is a stellar remake. Because of my love for the original game, it is tough for me to say which one I prefer over the other, right? Because there's stuff I really like about this one, but the atmosphere of the original Resident Evil 4 is unmatched. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they're both really special in their own regard, but you can't ever please everyone. That one, though, because Resident Evil 4, it's beloved, right? Final Fantasy VII, extremely beloved. That game, though, like I said, that might be the most beloved game in video game history. So, you're not going to make everyone happy. So I hope they understand that and go about creative liberties with Ocarina of Time. And just do what they want to do with that remake, man. It's a completely different experience, like a souped-up version of a similar world map and overall direction. I'll be disinterested. It's the last time they remade Ocarina of Time was in 3DS, right? Because I remember playing the Majora's. I actually liked the Majora's Mask remake on 3DS. It was more like a port, but there was a few key differences. But I actually really liked. I one of maybe the select few. I don't remember how it was received, but I really enjoyed the Majora's Mask remake on 3DS. But the Ocarina of Time remake was like it was more so just like a remaster from what I recall. Yes, me too. That's how I feel about it too, Quag 2. Like, you already have Ocarina of Time, but a huge supporter of companion pieces. That's how I feel about FF7. That's how I feel about everything. That's how I feel about One Piece. Like, the One Piece manga is the original material. The anime, the live action, the games, all that are companion pieces. Right? My One Piece is the manga. Everything else is like what feeds into that. It better be Capcom quality. Capcom has been cooking, man. Capcom, Mega Man is about to drop with their Mega Man Star Force thing, but Capcom's on a different level right now, man. I bought Monster Hunter Stories 3, love it so far. Only thing is I'm too addicted to Pokemon Pokopia and I haven't gotten off that. But Capcom's just been killing it, man. Like, Requiem was such a great game. And even before Requiem, like with the other, with RE2, obviously RE3 is what it was when it's remake, unfortunately, but even though it has a really stellar opening sequence, after that it's very strange decisions on it, but it is a different experience. I'll give them that from Nemesis. But they just done such a great job since like 2050, since Street Fighter V dropped. Capcom's just been on a roll, man. I mean, and it's like they just don't miss, which is why I'm so excited for Pragmata. Because even though I don't know what to expect from Pragmata, I'm expecting like a Kojima-esque experience. I can't wait for it. Because it is modern day Capcom who's just killing it. They don't know how to miss. They don't know how to miss. And even when it's something that it may not be like your favorite, it's still a very enjoyable experience, right? And it's I've just can't get enough of Capcom right now. So I am so hyped for Pragmata. Can't wait to continue Monster Hunter Stories 3 because that game has been awesome so far. Like I said, Pocopia's got me, but it's Such a great game. I can speak French. Bonjour. Well, thank you, Lexogram. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. If it's not that long, drop it in the Discord and I can translate it to English. Sung Jin Woo. I don't want to put you through that, man. The book is like, I have to check again, but man, it's hundreds of pages long. This is the book, and there's two of them. I'm reading the Xenosaga one first, which is 368 pages. Let me pull up the thing just so you can see the page. That's sort of like what it looks like. Let's see if I can like capture it a little bit. Basically says Les Legends, Xenogears, and Xenosaga. Biographies and memoirs written in January 2022, or I should say published January 2022, and it's 368 pages long. So that's a lot. That's a lot for you to translate. It's a lot for you to translate, brother, but I appreciate the thought. I prefer the Silent Hill remake, but I don't know. I actually have not had the chance to check out the Silent Hill remakes yet. I'm very excited to do so, though. Very, very excited to do so. The thing with remakes and remasters just in general, you know, especially because, and I keep bringing in the FF7 conversation because it is the remake I'm most invested in and the one that I wanted more than any other remake. The remake remaster conversation to me is endlessly fascinating because it's not new to video games, right? Back on the Super Nintendo, we were porting like Mario World and all these different things onto like the Game Boy and re-releases and, you know, pumping up graphics or whatever. Like when they put Mario 64 on the DS, or when they put like the Final Fantasy games on PS1 up-res the graphics or whatever, it's nothing new, right? When they did the Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid remakes on GameCube, it's nothing new. It's been here for a very long time, the remakes remasters thing. I think today the remakes remaster conversation is it endlessly fascinates me because of where we're at, because of what's possible. That's why I'm equally excited. I really obviously am still most invested in the new experiences, like when something new is dropping. For me, there's something I'm already invested in or something brand new, a brand new IP or whatever. But I think especially after FF7 and Ava, I think Ava also opened my eyes to the Evangelion remakes. Because Ava and Final Fantasy VII attacked remakes in a way that really changed my mind on what's possible with remakes. Where they aren't the original series, they aren't the original thing, which is what I love about them. And when I look at it from that perspective, the companion piece element, like Craig2 said, it adds a different layer to it. And when you're experiencing one of those things for the first time as a brand new fan who never experienced the original material, that can also be its own experience as well, which is super cool too. Like for me, I don't give a flying flag, nerds, man. And you're talking to one of the biggest FF7 fans ever. Somebody wants to start with the remake, you give them that dang controller and let them have some fun, man. If they want to go back and experience the original at some point after that, go fine and dandy. But sweet flag nerds, if you want to play the remake, man. I've seen so many people get invested in not just FF7, Resident Evil, the Silent Hill that was brought up earlier. So many of these things through the remakes. So I think they're very, very important in that regard.
for getting people to check out these works they otherwise may not have, if not for these remakes. And I think Ocarina of Time will certainly be that too. For people who have heard for years about the legend of Ocarina of Time and did not play the game for whatever reason, and now may have the opportunity to do so, right? You seen the burning building on the right side of the first panel on the final page? Teach putting in work? Yo, Kentucky's the heart. If that is Teach putting in work, hashtag let's flipping go. Let's hope so. Let's hope it's either Teach or Dragon. But I'm gonna go with my dog Teach. Missed Ocarina of Time's stilted and limited yet charming cutscenes. Can't even imagine the game with Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom level scene animation, right? Main hope is that the game gives some characters more spotlight. That would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome. Yeah, seriously, I can't imagine Ocarina of Time. I mean, I said the same thing for FF7, and I got used to the new scenes immediately. So. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now, JD Kurtz. I'm leaving, but I have to ask, since we're in remake talk, what do you think will be the One Piece project way of adapting this anime remake? We're going to get at some point it's in development. I think the One Piece remake is an interesting spot because it's going to have the opportunity to do... I remember when DBZ Kai first dropped, and there's still... The conversation between DBZ Kai and DBZ still continues, right? But something that I loved about DBZ Kai is how many people had got into Dragon Ball. Like, I remember talking to an individual that I used to play Call of Duty with, and they would tell me, did my thing just... No, I'm still here. And they would tell me how much they were enjoying DBZ Kai because that was their first experience with Dragon Ball, and that's what I want One Piece, the One Piece remake to be. Whatever ends up happening, right, I'm looking forward to it because obviously it is going to be another companion piece to this story I love so much. But I just hope, more than anything else, more than the quality of the episodes, more than what it's going to be covering, more than the pace at which it moves, as long as it gets people into the series and has that staying power to get people invested to where, after... I don't know, like 100 episodes or something, they decide, you know what, man, I really love this. Let me see how the original anime was, or a movie, or a manga, or whatever. Then it was all worth it. So, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what will come of it, but I'm looking forward to it. Well, my number one hope is that Sheik gets more action. Let's please. And we get more insight on Zelda's personal journey throughout the game. She has such powerful and profound character potential. I mean, to be quite honest with you, Quack, too, I think it'd be interesting to take the Resident Evil approach with that, right? Where Resident Evil had the, it was an original DLC in RE4, but something like the Ada DLC would be perfect for Ocarina of Time. I mean, could you imagine? You have Ocarina of Time base game, and then we get like a Zelda DLC, quote unquote, that sees things through her perspective. It could be done within the game itself, or it could be DLC. I think something like that would be interesting. I'd definitely play it. Recon, have you read a manga called Centuria? It started in 2024 and 86 chapters so far. I actually have not read this manga. Why would you recommend it? Just out of curiosity. It's moose season, Goalie. It most certainly is. It most certainly is. It's never outright stated, since there's so much shifts in POV throughout the story, but there isn't just one MC. With Lao Wan Huo and Sima Yi are the dual MCs of ROT. And I love them. Yeah, bro, Ravages of Time is so peak. Ravages of Time has a... I don't even know.
what else can I compare it to? It has a JoJo-esque gravity to it. What I mean by gravity, there's certain manga that pull me in to, once I start, whether it's first read or reread, to just want to keep going. Ravages of Time, I hopped back in where I left off, which was chapter 122. And it picked up like it was nothing, man. I mean, I was going through the pages. Such a great series. Such a great series. Can't wait to continue. On a Gaimon scene, if there's anyone that deserves a Vincent Chanzard scene, it's Gaimon. It is Gaimon. Chic DLC would maybe rebrand as a Nintendo Sales channel. Hey, we would take it. We would definitely take it, Quack 2. I would take Nintendo Shill Quack 2 for sure. Alright, and then our last comment here as we reach the 3-hour mark is going to be, have you enjoyed Post God Valley? I feel it could be much better retrospect. I've been enjoying it. I've definitely been enjoying this stretch. I mean, look at what we've gotten recently, you know? It has been great. I think what I've enjoyed about, what I was worried about coming off of the Loki flashback was, how are we going to get back into the central narrative and get excited and invested in what's currently happening. I remember Quack 2 brought this up in the middle of, or I think I was addressing Quack 2 in a comment that we had like mid Loki flashback, when we were like, man, when we get back into the current time, how invested are we going to feel coming off of this flashback, considering we had been so far removed from it for such a prolonged period of time. And I think Oda's done a great job of getting us back into the main central conflict again and allowing us to get invested. And he did so in a very One Piece-esque way. And because of that, I have been enjoying these post God Valley chapters for sure. Centuria is a good action adventure shonen so far. The chapters flew by. I caught up this week. Action adventure shonen sounds like fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'll have to keep that in the back pocket. Once we get but I appreciate you for elaborating on that, Order of the ASMR. Great name, by the way. I'll have to keep that in mind. Because like I said, now that my JJK hole is gonna need to be fit, y'all don't understand how much I love that series, man. And Stupa Rome will drop, so we're gonna have to fill that hole in somehow, you know. I've been rewatching Clannad. Shout out to my beloved Clannad. For individuals who watched the legendary stretch of mid 2000s bangers, Clannad obviously is very special to a lot of us, and it's my first time rewatching it in a very long time. So that's been special. That's been really, really special. But yeah, man, awesome chapter. Once we get to the Heaven Realm, it's gonna be up. Yeah, wait until we get to that Heaven Realm, dude. It's gonna be some peak. It's gonna be some flippin' peak, dude. Everyone's destinies are connected. Fire chapter. Yo, California Penguin, man. Great to see you, brother. Great to see you. Author of Centuria was Fujimoto's assistant. Oh, wow. That's a sell. I love me some Fujimoto, man. I really, really do. You want to talk about, Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch, listen to the song, Goodbye Eri, Look Back. Bro, I reread Look Back like 3 times a year. At least, I want to say at least 2 times a year since it dropped. I love Look Back, man. I love Goodbye Eri a lot. And obviously I have so much love for Chainsaw Man, and which I still can't believe that ended, and Fire Punch as well. But Fujimoto is just that guy's a monster, a genuine monster. So done by another Fujimoto assistant, right? Because I believe Dandadan was also done by a former Fujimoto assistant. I love Dandadan. So that should be fun. Clannad, you get me, Ocean Plan. You get me.
Since the flashback, it feels like things are wrapping up, but also building up something big simultaneously. Exactly, Declan. Exactly how I feel too. You should binge ROT chapters 223 to 263. What is it with the series set in this time period and chapter 263? Yeah, I remember Kingdom chapter 263. Zenith. You're telling me ROT is going to have a peak at 263 as well? I can't wait, man. But I'll keep that in mind, missed for sure. Kind of weird experience weekly now, but I think it could end up being great. Only problem I have with post flashback is the Doomverse stuff has felt like a bunch of confusion after confusion. It definitely has been very sporadic for sure with Doomverse stuff, with no clear cut answers as well. But hopefully we'll get some more of those with Emu not showing up, right? So we'll see. Oh, come on, Gintoki Zahard, bro. You know. You have no idea. Bro, when I saw that post, I lost my mind. Gintoki Zahard says, you're going to get on that new Sriracha manga that's coming out? Bro, day one, man. Day one, bro. You know how much I miss Sriracha? I don't care what Sriracha drops. I'm there, man. Gintama means so much. It's like if Oda dropped something else, you know? Like Oda, when it comes to the individuals that gave me like that one series that's like a lifer for me, you know, like your One Pieces, your JoJo's, your Hunter Hunters, the Gintamas, right? These series obviously mean so much to me. So many. There's quite a few that are like that, but like we're talking about like certain specific ones that I've been following for so long. I don't care what they drop. I'm giving it a shot. And Hideaki Sriracha, anything published by that individual, is getting read. No doubt. Can't wait. Me too. I'm so happy he took a long break, man. He deserved it. And I hope he did what he said he was gonna do, which is go out and have fun and enjoy his vacation. And that's exactly what he did. So yeah, Declan, man. Exciting stuff for that big thing that's coming that we all know is on the horizon. But ladies and gentlemen, my throat hurts. We have been streaming for 3 hours, but this was so much fun. Would not have traded it for anything. Thank you all so much for staying with me as late as y'all did. We, at least in my time, it is really late. So I appreciate y'all so much, but this was so much fun, man. What a great chapter. Emu is about to come in and cook. Don't know in what capacity, but it's going to be so flippin' crazy, man. Can't wait for it. I like the vibe of this chapter midway through, almost like you could hear a pin drop because it just feels peaceful for a brief moment, right? Right? 100%. But I just can't wait for this next one. I can't believe there's not a break, which just tells me Oda has something crazy planned, man, for what's about to go down. So I will see you all next time. Thank you so incredibly much for watching, man. This has been the One Piece Chapter 1178 reaction. We'll be back next week for some more of that One Piece greatness. But until next time, take care. And I'm going to get back on some Pocopia. Well, not tonight because I'm about to go to sleep. But, you know, that's my game, man. It's just something about it, dude. It's got its hooks in me, man. And it's not my fault. It's the Poke Company, so it's not even their fault. It's Koei Tecmo.